Hey, it's John from Tinderbox Arts. So if you have a high school or a middle school kid in your house, you probably know what this is already, but otherwise I'll explain it to you. This is paracord, short for parachute cord. I don't know if this particular type is used anymore in parachutes, but that's the name of it, and it's used in many applications for outdoors, camping and survival type stuff. And I'm going to use it for something unique here on a motorcycle. So this is my son's bike. It's a Triumph Tiger 800. And he did something kind of clever here, that he wrapped the passenger grab bar, which is also used for tying things down, in paracord for a number of reasons. Number one, it's a nice handhold for a passenger. And if you're going to put a bungee cord and wrap it on here, it kind of protects the metal a little bit, but it also stops the bungee cord from slipping around. And it can also be used in an emergency. So, if somebody gets in an accident, you need a tourniquet real quick, you can take your knife out, slit the end of this, and take this paracord off and use it for something. Maybe for tying something down as well. If you find yourself, you forgot your tie downs, this is always on the bike. So it's just something to have around. And, paracord, as I said, is used in lots of different camping and survival type situations. So this is kind of an extension of that. So now over here in my R1200 RT, which is my touring bike, I have this passenger grab bar. The luggage goes right here. I have it off right now. The luggage goes right here, and the passenger can hold on to this. And I take a passenger sometimes, but more often I'm using this bar for bungee cords or, a cargo net. And it was always slipping around on these bars. I was never satisfied with that. So I thought, well, this is a chance to do something different. So I decided to do the same thing, but I just chose a different weave. And it has kind of a spiral, thing going on here that goes around the whole, all the edges of it. And it's a little bit of a tighter weave. So if I put a bungee cord on here, it's not going to scratch the metal. So this is what I ended up doing. So I've done it on this side. I haven't done the other side yet. This is what it looks like without the paracord. So I'm going to show you how I did this, and if you're interested in doing it yourself, whatever kind of bike you have, this might be something you want to do too. Now, getting close here, this whole thing is really just made up of two different knots. You have one knot, which is actually a clove hitch to start the whole run here, and then you have just this very simple half hitch type of thing that you use for all the rest of this. But the fact that as you tie each knot, it gets a little bit further, the knot ends up making a spiral around the whole thing, and that's how you get that spiral. So it's really not that hard to do. You just got to pay attention that you're doing the same knot each time. And after you finish, you basically just nip off the ends here and use a lighter to melt the ends. This stuff is made of nylon, and if it gets wet, it's not a problem. So, I just kind of smushed the ends here and burned them. Actually, I have to do a little bit more on that one, but that's all it is. So it's pretty simple to do. I did this one in about, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, I guess. So let me show you how the other one is done. All right, to get started, I'm going to do the mirror image of what I did on the other side. So I'm coming over with this paracord over the bar, rail, whatever it is. I'm going to bring it around. Now I'll make a second loop. So I'm going over the first one. Now I bring the second loop around, and I'm just going to sneak it on top, sneak it underneath, I should say, underneath the top piece of cord, and that's it. Like, I'm going to give you, before I tighten that, I'm going to give you a close-up. Hold on. There's a close-up of the starting knot, okay? There's my end right there. Alright, so once I have this started, I'm going to pull this real tight as I can, and I'm just going to slide it up to wherever I want it to start. Now I'm going to try to match the other one, which is right about there. And just make sure that's good and tight. Now we're going to go on to the second knot, and the second knot, it's the same for the entire length of this rail. And what I've done is I have all the paracord in a bunch here so that I can easily handle it. It's about 25 feet. So I bought a 50-foot length, and that'll do both sides. So it's probably a little less than 25 feet. It's probably about 22, 21, something like that. So I'm doing a mirror image of what I did on the other side. So in this case, I'm going to have a loop here. All right, so that's sitting on top. See that? And now I'm going to go under the rail with all this mess of cord. and I'm going to pull it through that loop. I'll show you here. Alright, so I'm pulling this through the loop. See that? It's just a half hitch, really. And what's going to happen is, each time I do this, I pull it tight, real tight, and then I'm going to push it up nice and tight against the previous knot. Now I'm just going to repeat that knot. So here I am again. Here's my loop. I'm going to go under the rail, through the loop, and there it is. I'm pulling it tight again. All right. Now I'll pull this one tight, and you'll see what happens is every time you make that knot and pull it good and tight, it sneaks a little bit, you know, off to one side, and that's what gives you the spiral part. So again, now this gets a little weird because you got to remember where this cord is supposed to be, and as the spiral wraps around, sometimes it gets confusing. But in this case, the loop, I should say, is on top. I go through again with all the mess, bring it through that loop, make sure I got it like that. But you'll see as I start to sneak around, it doesn't end right here. I have to kind of pull it and then pull it down towards where it wants to be, and it'll be pretty obvious. So I'll get that good and tight, keep pushing those loops up. Now I'm just going to continue this pattern right on down the line until I get near the end. So I won't bore you with that, but let me continue doing that and then we'll show you how to end it. So believe it or not, I lost power in the middle of all this. So it's dark in here, sorry about the light. But I've gotten to the end here, and then I'm just going to take a lighter, and this is nylon, so it just melts. And we're going to melt that and press it in place with the metal scissors. Okay, sorry about that. The power's back on now. Honestly, I mean, I live in one of the wealthiest counties in the country. I think it's top 5 or at least top 10. And we can't keep the power on. I mean, the wind blows, the power goes out. It's unbelievable. Anyway, so I did this in the dark with a flashlight. Actually came out all right considering. So this is the new side. Here's the other side that I did previously. And if you want to do this project, it's pretty easy. I just tried to show you there it was kind of dark, but basically you just trim the ends with scissors, use a lighter to burn that end, and it just melts a little bit because it's nylon, plastic, and that's it. It stays. So pretty cool idea, and I think I might do it on my other bike as well.